Victory last night in the Court of Appeals with respect to Los Angeles, but really the country, where Gavin Newsom, who's really an incompetent governor, he's just doing a terrible job between his fires, between all the houses burning down, his forest fires, and now Los Angeles. If we didn't go to Los Angeles, and the sheriff admitted it, he had no control. He would have lost control. We saved Los Angeles by having the military go in. And the second night was much better. The third night was nothing much. And the fourth night, nobody bothered even coming. We put out that fire, and we did a great job of it. He sued us for going in and for helping him. We went and helped him. Right now, you'd have Los Angeles burning to the ground. Largely, it would have already been destroyed.
There will be no more sanctuary cities?
No way. Okay. No way. No more sanctuary cities. I wouldn't even say 4 years. I'd say give it to the end of the year. Sanctuary cities are over. There are no more sanctuary cities as far as the federal government's concerned. What a sanctuary city means is they are harboring criminals. They are harboring illegal aliens. And if you're tipping someone off when there is going to be an ICE raid, DHS raid, we will find you and we will prosecute you. That jeopardizes the lives of our great men and women in law enforcement. Not going to happen anymore. It's a new day, and we're coming after you.
Campaign in Iran enough, or do you need ground forces?
Well, I'm not going to talk about ground forces. The last thing you want to do is ground forces.
Does Iran have 2 weeks? Or, Mr. President, the Iranian foreign minister this afternoon said if the U.S. is serious about negotiations, that you would call up Israel and request that they stop their airstrikes. Will you make that request?
Well, I think it's very hard to make that request right now. If somebody's winning, it's a little bit harder to do than if somebody's losing. But we're ready, willing, and able, and we've been speaking to Iran, and we'll see what happens.
20 years ago, you were skeptical of a Republican administration that attacked a Middle East country on the idea of questionable intelligence of weapons of mass destruction. How is this moment different with Iran?
Well, there were no weapons of mass destruction. I never thought there were. And that was somewhat pre-nuclear. You know, there was a nuclear age, but nothing like it is today. And it looked like I'm right about the material that they've gathered already. It's a tremendous amount of material. And I think within a matter of weeks, or certainly within a matter of months, they're going to be able to have a nuclear weapon. We can't let that happen. I was very much opposed to Iraq. I said it loud and clear, but I was a civilian, but I guess I got a lot of publicity. But I was very much opposed to the Iraq war. And I actually did say, don't go in, don't go in, don't go in. But I said, if you're going to go in, keep the oil. But they didn't do that.
What intelligence do you have that Iran is building a nuclear weapon? Your intelligence community has said they have no evidence that they are at this point.
Well, then my intelligence community is wrong. Who in the intelligence community said that?
Your director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
She's wrong.
Mr. President, are the Chinese in any way helping Iran at this moment? Clearing reports of serious planes landing in Iran from China?
They say that they're there to take people out.
Lindsey Graham and Mike Pompeo were there on the ground in Ukraine, seemingly doing the opposite, trying to provoke the Ukrainians to keep fighting. What do you think of that?
Well, we're going to see, and people have to be very careful with what they say. They got to be very careful with their mouth, because their mouth can get them into a lot of trouble.
One more. Prime Minister Netanyahu said that they had the capacity to take out all of Iran's nuclear facilities. So what role would the U.S. be able to play, and why would they, if Israel says that they have all of the abilities, their own military?
I'm not sure he said that, but they really have a very limited capacity. They can break through a little section, but they can't go down very deep. They don't have that capacity, and we'll have to see what happens. Maybe it won't be necessary. Maybe it won't be necessary.
And using words, it's taking decisive action when we can take out Fordo the one swoop of an airplane.
With one swoop of an airplane. Of course, Kayleigh McEnany is infantile. Let's be blunt. That right there is dangerous. That is dangerous, and that is on Fox all day long. I'm absolutely serious. Why do you not think that they're representing a foreign government? Hannity, Levin, the whole crowd. There should be an investigation. Has there been intelligence? Are the guys taking ads? See the AIPAC ads all the time over there.
All right, Friday night, and we are live. Hope everybody's doing good. As always, be blessed in the mighty name of Jesus. Let me see who is in the chat. Birdhouse Blues is on. Mike Griffith's on. Robin Aroni is on. Gucci Buckeye's on. Scooter Magruder is on. Richard Perry 49 is on. Robin Aroni is on again. Just Jesse is on. JD Joy is on. Granite 2468 is on. Sparky 8142 is on. Guitar Glenn is on. Phil McCracken is on. Judy Anita is on. Jenna Fogg is on. Let me see. Golf Master 1 is on. Conservative Warrior is on. Peg McGroin is on. Tim L. T-Bird is on. Bud Dave is on. Let me see. Your keeper 1376 is on. 11 Carl 11 is on. Snag Dog is on. CMDN is on. Big Jim Go Blue is on. K4 VMS is on. Let me see here. USA Abbey Girl is on. Paul's NYC is on. LA 106 Times is on. Jim Brody's on. John Phillips is on. Volvo 960 is on. Blade Runner's on. Wilbur's Bud is on. Love you guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. Let me just show you before we get launching into anything serious tonight, which really for me, we're just on war watch, war waiting game day 2. Not a whole lot happening today. I mean, I was obviously scanning the channels. Nothing was happening. Nothing big was happening. Nothing overly new was released. So we'll deep dive into other stuff. Got my Muslim expose loaded and ready, got border stuff ready, a little bit on Israel. Of course, I keep saying a little bit on Israel, then I spent 48 minutes talking about it, which is what I did last night. But anyways, hopefully I won't do that again tonight. There isn't anything overly new to talk about. But anyway, I just want to show you, this is real. This is not a doctored video. This is not edited. This is not AI, as sadly as it is. This is actually real. This is Democratic Party. He's rearing his ugly head again, figuratively and literally. Rearing his ugly head again. Here's Representative, this is Media Research Center video. Here's Representative Hank Johnson releases hilariously bad anti-Trump song. You just have to hear this. Play it for me.
I'm compelled with a new guitar and with some thoughts about that old song, Hey Joe, to give some commentary on where we are now. Hey, Trump, where you going with that gun in your hand? Hey, Trump, where you going with that gun in your hand? I'm going down the street and shoot down democracy. You know I want to be a king someday. I'm going down and shoot democracy down. You know I want to be the king someday. Hey, Donald Trump, We won't let you take our democracy down, take it down to the ground. Hey, Trump. We won't let you take our democracy down, burn it down to the ground. That's it, y'all. Thank you. This is a island that at its widest level is, 12 miles from shore to shore, and at its smallest level, or smallest location, it's 7 miles between one shore and the other. Is that correct?
I don't have the exact dimensions, but to your point, sir, I think Guam is a small island.
Very small island, and about 24 miles, if I recall, long. So 24 miles long, about 7 miles wide at the least widest place on the island, and about 12 miles wide on the widest part of the island. And I don't know how many square miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that. The Guam population, I think, currently about 175,000, and again, with 8,000 Marines and their families, it's an addition of about 25,000 more.
Once again, I reiterate to all of you, these are the people that make decisions. You know, back, I was talking about this this is what was happening while Hank Johnson was talking. This is what's happening. We're paying for Hank Johnson to be there asking whether or not to, like one of the members of the Joint Chiefs at the time, I don't know if that's actually the case or not, but just symbolically at least, well, a member of the Joint Chiefs, whether or not Guam will capsize. And you and I are paying for that to the tune of $1 million every 19 seconds. That's what we're paying for. These are the people who decide whether or not you have to lock down, wear masks, enter into wars. These are the quote unquote experts, just like they're not sending their best and their finest through the southern border under the Democratic Party administrations. Trump has now shut down the border completely, but the best and the brightest are not in Washington, D.C. The best and the brightest are not occupying the congressional and senatorial seats, Hank Johnson being one of them. They're actually kind of like inbred idiot people. They really are. I mean, do you realize how galactically stupid you have to be to make that comment? And then going from back to front, if you're going to put out a video of yourself playing the guitar, maybe you ought to tune it. I mean, again, these are people who make life and death decisions. These are the people that destroy businesses or allow businesses to flourish. These are the people who steal 20 to 40% of your income. And he's going to make a video imitating a Jimi Hendrix song, The Master of the Stratocaster. He's going to imitate him with an untuned electric guitar. I mean, I want everyone to just think of you wouldn't actually just take, Aaron, how long does it take to tune a guitar?
Like 15 seconds, 20 seconds.
A couple seconds with it. You can it's all like electric now, right? You just hook it up to a device.
Tuner,
a tuner. He doesn't even take the time to do that. And he also thinks that if you put enough on the island of Guam, which was formed by volcanic ash and volcanic eruptions, which is not a floating raft. It actually connects to the bottom of the ocean, you stupid idiot. I mean, again, these are the people, and we take their opinions in any way, shape, or form seriously. And I know you're like, well, of course I don't take Hank Johnson's. I'm telling you, 99% of Republicans are in the same stratosphere of stupid. Because how do we get to this? How in the world do you get to this without idiocy? You just can't. All right, let's hop into Israel real quick. Adam Hughes video, good summation here by Jesse Waters. It's titled "Earthquake Do You Know?" Play it for me.
Fox News alert, President Trump making it very clear that if America has to get involved in Iran, it'll end on our terms. And it looks like he's preparing for any scenario. The E-4B Doomsday plane just made an unexpected flight to D.C. The $500 million aircraft was designed to withstand nuclear blasts and keep top government officials safe when threats are off the charts. And it landed at Joint Base Andrews under the cover of night on Tuesday. Right now, the United States has 2 destroyers anchored in the Mediterranean, the USS Sullivans and the USS Thomas Hudner. Both of these $100 million platforms have been shooting down Iranian missiles. To the south is a carrier strike group, the USS Carl Vinson in the Arabian Sea just off the coast of Iran, flanked by 4 warships providing security to U.S. bases in the region, and a super carrier, the USS Gerald Ford. It's on its way and should be on the scene soon. Dozens of F-16s have been repositioned from Italy to the Saudi Arabia base, and F-22s and F-35s are on their way. Now, if we're going to drop bunker busters on the Iranian nuke site, it'll be done by B-2 stealth bombers. These aren't officially in the region, but sources tell Primetime they've seen tactical movement in the last 24 hours. This is a major moment for Trump, and he's aware that his legacy is on the line. Quote, he is in his last term of his presidency. He may or may not see a window to do something that is something he's always believed is right and is important for the world, and has the added benefit of being legacy building. And this is a window. It's never existed before. It will likely never exist again insofar as he can do anything about it. So while he has that window, he's going to take a shot, even if it is not something that everybody agrees with. The president says he hasn't made up his mind, and he's keeping his options open, and we believe that. Iran's foreign minister is flying to Switzerland for talks with the Europeans tomorrow. 47's offering them one last chance.
So again, I just go with, and there's basically a summation of where we are up to this point right now. And Aaron mockingly said, as we were watching this, he said, "Well, thank goodness we're not intervening in this." Okay, well, we're positioning ourselves to intervene. But again, I've learned my lesson with Trump, and I don't think anybody saw a 2-week kind of stand down or a 2-week decision making process. Certainly not a stand down. I take that back. When you basically have the apocalypse airplane in the sky right now, that's to protect all the important people. You know, like, Tom, you sound like, I don't know, you sound so contrarian. Well, it's true. I mean, what exactly is true that's happened in the past? I mean, that we've been taught. I mean, because we were taught, and I'm watching my time on this because I really need to get into other things tonight. But what in our past was actually true? Nothing that you've really heard about Pearl Harbor was true. Nothing you've heard about Winston Churchill was true. Nothing really that you've heard about the Vietnam War is true. Nothing that you've heard about the Korean War, the Gulf of Tonkin, the USS Liberty. I mean, there's just so many things that you can go back on. What has happened? I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying that where we are with Iran right now, everything that you've heard is probably not true. I listened to the entire interview between Rabbi Shmuley, who runs a sex toy shop, online, Rabbi Shmuley, and Alex Jones yesterday. And to his credit, he has, Rabbi Shmuley has basically all textbook history memorized. He really does. Smart guy, high IQ guy. But everything in those textbooks is not accurate. It's always really who writes the textbook. Again, it's not how many votes you have, it's who counts the votes. So who wrote the textbook and for what purpose? It's just like you had the Bible really systemically changed with the rewriting with the Schofield Bible. So you have to be real careful about what version of the Bible you're reading, and then at least compare it to the original text. And be careful of what you're believing with some of these new translations. But anyway, because you have to look at who are the people behind the books? Who are the people behind the history books? Who are the people behind the new translations of the Bible? You have to be really, really careful with these things. So Shmuley, he's got history memorized, but it's all wrong. And it's all very surface level. It has no deep understanding of it. It's just basically Iran did this year. Israel did this that year, but no reasons. There's no deep dive into who was in charge and why were they in charge and why did they do what they did. It's just white hat versus black hat. And you have to be very careful about living like that because it's not actually true. And that's the whole COVID deception. Okay, basically this is how COVID worked, right? And it's the same thing they're doing here with this alleged nuclear threat. And now Trump is speaking Netanyahu-ese now. We're only weeks away. Only weeks away. That's not what Trump said 10 years ago. It's not what Trump said on the campaign trail. He has always said, to his credit, that Iran can't have a nuke, but he didn't do anything about their nuke threat in 2017. And how many weeks was it in 2017 that they were away from getting a nuclear weapon? Weeks away. Same thing in 2017, 18, 19, 20, when he was president before. And he didn't do anything about it then. So why is it more of a threat now? And what is the proof? And who's telling you that what the proof is? So if you go to a guy like Shmuley, he'll just quote whatever Mossad says, whatever the CIA says. He'll quote it. And people are like, well, aren't these institutions, though flawed, working for the interest of their country? The CIA does not work for the interest of the American citizenry. It works for the fascistic combination of corporatism and governance, both globally and in the United States. That's what it really works for. It's sent in to work for the money changers. It goes in to work for fascism, for BlackRock, for State Street, for Vanguard, which owns basically everything. Whatever their interests are, the CIA will go in and make sure that their interests are protected. Why? Because the people in the CIA never malign the simplistic interest of always wanting a job. It's like, you know what? If there is no international turmoil, then why have a CIA? It's like a cop who wants there to be crime so that he continues to have a job, when his job is to actually eliminate crime. But if I eliminate crime, then I don't have a job. So never underestimate the grievous need. And I mean, I'm talking about the monstrous need of people to get a middle-class paycheck. I'm not kidding. You're like, are you belittling the middle class? No, I'm middle class. I'm saying never belittle people's absolute vicious, virile attachment to getting a middle-class paycheck. They'll do almost anything to get it. We saw everybody in 2020, in the 4 years and 15 days to flatten the curve. We saw it. That people will do anything to keep their middle-class life going, whether it's upper middle class, whether it's lower middle class, whatever it is, I'll do anything. You need me to wear a mask to keep my job? I'll wear a mask. Even though people wear it without question, people will wear it after they know it does nothing. People will know they'll wear it even if they know it's causing an oxygenation deprivation of their brain, and it carries latent viruses in the mask, because when you're exhaling, guess where that's supposed to go? Out. See how deep it is? I got a doc watching right now. See how my medical expertise, exhaling, everything that you're exhaling is supposed to leave your body. But people will wear it even though they know it's harming themselves, so that they get their $74,000 a year paycheck. They will do anything. And never belittle that. But also inside the CIA, especially if you go up the ranks of the CIA, you are going to get high-paying jobs if you protect. I didn't just say corporate interests. I said fascistic corporate interests, because fascism means a merging of corporatism and governance. So, i.e., Moderna. So I'm gonna do whatever I got to do to climb the ladder in the CIA. And when I do, I'm gonna be like Lloyd Austin. Whenever I leave the government, I go to Raytheon for a $1 million job. Then I go into government and secure my $1 million job by securing $1 billion contracts to Raytheon, of whose board I sit on. That's what they do. I mean, and that's really how the entire world works. So we just need to be real careful about who it is that's speaking into our lives, who it is that we actually believe. Right now, it's the same rhetoric. I'm telling you, it's the exact same thing. The exact same actions are happening. It's over and over and over again. And we thought that Trump would come in and change everything, and he has a chance in these 2 weeks. If he doesn't jump into this war and he lowers our debt, he's the greatest president of all time. Lowers the debt, not the deficit, the debt. If he lowers the debt and he doesn't get us into this war and he is somehow negotiates some sort of peace in this, he's the greatest president of all time. But if we get into another Iraq-style war at the recommendations of Benjamin Netanyahu, Trump pretty much destroys his legacy. Doesn't mean he's not going to do great things. I'm not trying. If we on Monday, if we tomorrow, if we on Sunday, whatever it is, if we start dropping bunker busters, I'm not hopping off the Trump train. Because Trump is going to do 1,000 things that make you happy after that. But it will definitely be a huge black mark on his presidency. We don't need to jump in. Go to the next one for me. Here's a great summation from the Babylon Bee. This is how everybody looks at things. The Babylon Bee. Two sides of the argument. Israel has the right to defend itself, says the pro-war neocon Zionist shill. And then on the other side, I don't know if America should be involved in another Middle Eastern war, says the raging anti-Semite. You see, if you're smart, everything to you operates in specificity. Not, I'm always for Israel, no matter what. That's absolutely antithetical. That's antithetical to being smart. That's antithetical to wisdom. Just deep dive or just dive headlong into any sort of man-made system. I mean, again, I'm pro. That's it. I'm pro-Israel. Whatever Israel does is right. Well, then are you like that towards your own country? And then why are you not? I mean, aren't you like anti-patriotic or Israel first? If you're like, whatever Israel does is right. Should you ever be like, absolutely not. You should be very specific. In this situation, am I pro-Israel? Listen, are we ever going to be pro-Iran? Listen, there's no way I'll ever be pro-Iran because they are always operating under Sharia law. They're always operating under Sharia law. But is Israel operating under the Old Testament or the Talmud? You ever read that? Because most Israelis do not really believe in the Old Testament. They believe in the Talmud, which has another like 600 laws in it. It has horrible, derogatory things that I can't repeat because we're on Christian television network right now. I wouldn't say them anyway because they got some cuss words in it, but I would bleep out the cuss words with using my own voice, but horrible things about the Virgin Mary and horrible things about Jesus burning in hell. So you're going to follow headlong a country that primarily follows the Talmud that believes that Jesus is burning in hell as we speak. And you need to be real careful too, because people will go to the book of Genesis and say, when you bless Israel, you're blessed. It doesn't say bless the nation of Israel. It says blessing Abraham, the Abrahamic covenant. Aaron, what covenant are we in right now?
Abrahamic.
Okay, that's what you're blessing.
Yep.
Please understand that. Doesn't mean I'm not pro-Israel, because I am. I'm pro-Israel like I'm pro-England. I look at everything. Is England right? Under Keir Starmer? Not good. Margaret Thatcher? Really good. But was she right all the time? No. So you have to somehow, but both of these sides of the argument, or both sides that are taken in this sarcastic spoof here, both of these sides are idiocy. Israel has the right to defend itself. Of course it does. If you believe that, people will then call you from what are called, like, sometimes the woke right now, a pro-Zionist neocon shill. Many on the right are going to that. They're called the woke right now, which I don't necessarily agree with that. But really, the really perfect line is to be like, yes, of course they have the right to defend themselves because we have the right to defend ourselves, and every country has the right to defend themselves. And then you have the other side. I don't know if America should be involved in another war. Then you're an anti-Semite. People are saying that right now too. You saw it with the Tucker Carlson, Ted Cruz interview, or basically Ted Cruz and what he called, I can't remember, feline sort of, I can't remember what snarky kind of way. Ted Cruz was insinuating that Tucker Carlson was anti-Semitic. Why is everything about Israel? Why is everything about... This is an interview about Israel. I mean, think about how stupid that comment is. Again, these are the people that decide how many vaccinations you're mandated, how many masks you have to wear, what the interest rates are going to be. I know that's the Fed, but it's highly influenced by this, by the various governing authorities and all their cocktail parties, whatever. But these are the people who make these huge decisions. And they have absolutely ridiculous viewpoints and uneducated viewpoints. So just because you don't think that we should go into a war doesn't make you anti-Semitic, as Ted Cruz was insinuating that Tucker Carlson is doing. And now we're seeing now now everything was going well, right? Look at what's happened. Everything was going well. We're rocking and rolling. Again, the statistics. We're about 0.2% average inflation right now. Trump's got it back down. This is kind of on an average, but he's got it basically at the level he had it when he left office first time. Like 1.9%. It's gone up like 0.2%. But a total right now 1.9%, under 2%, under 2% going up at a rate of 0.2%. Can't beat that. Added 577,000 jobs in the month of April. The month of May jobs report hasn't come out yet. So basically, inflation is taken care of. Jobs are taken care of. We have the highest increase in wages in 60 years. The border is completely shut. $14 trillion worth of investment in this country secured by Donald J. Trump in his first 150 days. $14 trillion in foreign and domestic investment in our own economy. Joe Biden, zero. In 4 years, zero. Donald Trump, 100 days, $14 trillion, because he did that a while ago. All that's going well, and now everybody's fighting each other. Elon's left. Not hearing nothing about Doge anymore. Aaron showed the debt clock earlier. Doge is kind of like, they're still putting out reports, but the head's kind of cut off the chicken now without Elon around. Elon and Trump are at odds. Obviously, Trump is now pretty much on a daily basis saying that Tulsi Gabbard was wrong. And now Tulsi Gabbard is saying on Twitter, can't they call each other? I don't know. That is your DNI. That she never said what they're telling Trump that she said, that he's saying that is wrong. So she actually put out the video of what everybody's referring to. So, it's what is happening right now. It's like perfect timing. Whenever there are things going really well for us or really bad for the Democrats, what happens every single time? A mass shooting. Every time. Or some sort of international calamity. Every single time. And people think these things just happen to happen. It's always that way. So Trump gets things rolling. They all know he's a no new wars president. And lo and behold, Benjamin Netanyahu decides to strike now. It's just like the greatest economy outside of debt spending. And that wasn't that bad yet because we hadn't gotten to the place of spending at COVID levels. We really had, statistically speaking, with the exception of the debt and deficit spending, which wasn't nearly what it is now, less than half of what it is now, deficit spending. We had the greatest economy in modern history going in 2019. And lo and behold, a calamity strikes. Same thing starting again, and a calamity strikes. And it's the same old arguments, the same old justifications. You get ready, Aaron? Just a couple weeks. Couple weeks. Yeah. We put up the graph. A couple weeks. He's been saying it since 1984. Benjamin Netanyahu, same guy. He's about 10 years older than me. He's been saying that since 1984. Over and over, just a few weeks away. Weeks to 3 years. Weeks to 3 years. He's been saying that since 1984. And he strikes right when Donald Trump turns the economy around. So you end up with sunken ships in the Suez Canal and the Straits of Hormuz and shut down. You shut down oil, it destroys Trump's recovery. So you have to be able to, and I know I'm speaking to a red-pilled audience. You can't be either one of these things ever, really, because because that is true, though. You will hear people. If you say Israel has the right to defend itself, you'll have woke right people who are Israel is at the base or is the cause of everything that's ever gone wrong in the world. That's what they'll say. So if you say that Israel has the right to defend itself, the woke right, now the really zealot anti-Israel people will say you're a neocon Zionist shill because you're saying that Israel had the right to respond to the 10/7/23 attack. And then people will say, yeah, but Tom, there's a lot behind that. I agree, but there's still jihadists, Hamas actors that did in fact take 100 and kill 100 Americans, take many Americans hostage, took many Israelis hostage, raped and killed and, and decapitated people. That did happen. Was Mossad behind it as sort of a false flag instigation or justification to then bomb Gaza? I believe that's the case. So you have to take it all in. Now, schmooly people like that will simply go to the other side. I don't know if America should be involved in another Middle Eastern war. You're a raging anti-Semite. Well, there's a whole lot more behind things than simple historical documentation. There's a lot more behind it. So, again, I just tell people on this, be very specific. Trump is not Jesus. Like you'll hear tonight before we close out. I'll tell you to be in church on Sunday. We smashed our record, didn't we, Aaron, this Sunday? 1,800 people, I think, watching live. So we smashed our live audience record of 1,800 people watching live in the church service. You got to have a savior because Trump is a great president. And I love Trump. I mean, I do. I think he's doing a great job. That's why I didn't. It's not why. I'm not going to jump off Trump train regardless. I'm not going to do that. But it's why I hesitated to go scorched earth. Because Trump then goes, and who's he meeting with today? Who's he meeting with? Who did he fly in to meet with? Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon stands where I stand, where Alex Jones stands, where Tucker Carlson stands, where Marjorie Taylor Greene stands, where you don't just, again, follow the same rhetoric over and over and over again. And you don't follow the same, you don't respond to the same incendiary rhetoric. It'd be very akin to this. If you had a neighbor who said, I'm going to kill you, just says that, calls you on the phone, texts it to you, which is a crime in the state of Florida. But anyway, texts it, I'm going to kill you. Do you have the right to go over there and kill that person? Because they said that they are going to kill you. No, Iran said, listen, if I'm older than you, you're just going to need to trust me. The song that's kind of now getting back out into social media right now, Bomb Iran, under like under Barbara Ann, the Beach Boys song.
Yeah.
Okay, that song's like being kind of re-released now, and people are like, that was put out in 1980. That was like a big hit. That was because when when Iran took over our embassy and held hostages for 100 and some odd days until Reagan took office. But anyway, so you just kind of have to like trust me. And at that time, all the rhetoric began. All of it began. So since 1980, all of this has been going on. Netanyahu started chiming in 84. And it's the same old rhetoric over and over and over again. Why would Netanyahu, who abandoned Trump, who wouldn't take Trump's phone calls, why would he suddenly start this war now? Because Trump has things going. He has things going. Why would he start it now? Because now, is anybody focusing on inflation? No, everyone's just on the 2-week wait now. But to Trump's credit, he pulled back. Netanyahu wanted the bunker busters 2 days ago. Lindsey Graham. And who are the people that are trying to get us into this war? You should always look at the people that are speaking into your life. And I don't mean people that you necessarily, I don't mean necessarily in a counselor sort of way or speaking in your life, trusted sort. I'm just look at the people who are holding to certain opinions. Who are they? Are they trustworthy figures? Because they're the same old people that wanted us in Ukraine. Same old people that wanted you twice vaccinated, wearing masks and locking down your business. Same exact people are trying to push us into this war. Reverend Shmuley, multiple vax, masked, everything. I mean, same people every single time. All right, let's go on. Let's get off of Israel. All right, Josh Ryan video. Just wanted to show you this. You can just play the Aaron. You can just mute it and just play it over and over again, side by side, till I get done yapping about it. This is Mark Carney. This is a Josh Ryan video. Mark Carney makes a quick exit from the PMO as Parliament breaks. This is in Canada. I want to show you. These are the people. These are the people that are Mark Carney, devout member of the World Economic Forum. Now, of course, Prime Minister over Canada. This guy running Canada. Mark Carney makes a quick exit from the PMO as Parliament breaks. I was going to play the video, but I can't. There's too much profanity for CTN. It's too much for me to have Aaron edit out. It'd be that's all you hear the entire video. So he makes a quick exit. And here's the numbers that I want you to see. You can stop playing it. You can just freeze it or something, Aaron, whatever. But anyway, here's the numbers that I wanted you to see. Numbers that I wanted you to hear. Mark Carney makes a quick exit from the PMO as Parliament breaks for the summer after sitting for only 17 days. So the Parliament, these geniuses right here, their Parliament in Canada, which of course is heavy-duty left-leaning, they have sat. Basically, they have worked for 17 days this year. Hey, Brent, how's that work for you? Would you like to work for 17 days for the entire year so far? Because it is, what is it, 21st? 21st of June?
20th.
20th of June today? That'd be nice. I mean, so you'll be 6 months and 20 days in to the year and only have worked 17 days?
Done.
I mean, that's basically what our Congress does too, by the way.
Yeah.
Mark Carney has worked for 17 days this year so far, and now they're going home for summer vacation. These are the experts. These are the people putting out, your various statutes, your rules, your regulations, how you're going to live, how much you're going to pay for taxes, controlling the financial markets, running our healthcare systems. These are the geniuses. They work 17 days so far this year. Sounds just like the United States, where 6% of the federal workforce actually reports to work in person every day. So 17 days in 2025 without tabling a budget. So they worked for 17 days and never came up with a budget at all. Parliament won't resume. Get this, Aaron. Get this, Brett. Parliament won't resume until September 15th. So now they're going on the rest of June, rest of July, all of August, and half of September. 3 full month vacation after working 17 days. Sounds just like the Biden administration, where he took off over 40% of his administration was on vacation. Amazing, isn't it? All right, let's go to the border. Libs of TikTok video. Texas man charged with buying fireworks and explosives. You see, all of these wins are being covered up now by this Israeli conflict, these wins at the border. Texas man charged with buying fireworks and explosives to kill police. Play for me.
Texas man is facing charges after federal prosecutors say he wanted to use explosives purchased in New Mexico to kill police and government officials in California. The U.S. Attorney for New Mexico says 48-year-old Zagash Vandenberg bought 6 mortars and 36 large fireworks from a travel center in Lordsburg last Thursday before heading west on I-10. According to court documents, store staff reported Vandenberg told them he wanted to use the explosives during the Los Angeles protests to kill police, and he invited the staff to join his platoon in California. If convicted, Vandenberg faces up to 10 years in prison.
So good. Another win. Go to the next one for me. Eric Doherty tweet. Just in, ICE arrests illegal alien brother of an activist. So this is an illegal alien brother of an activist who runs an organization that doxes ICE agents. If you're a Democrat, you want to keep him in the country. He's the brother, ICE arrests illegal alien brother, so he's illegal himself, of an activist who's not illegal, who doxes. So you have the legal alien doxing ICE agents. And then you have, of course, his brother. Now, if you're a Democrat in 2025, you want the guy buying fireworks and explosives to kill police to stay in the country, and you want this guy to stay in the country. Go to the next one for me. Libs of TikTok video. Wow, 8 people arrested, including 2 DMV employees in a scheme to issue fraudulent driver's licenses, just like the Chinese. Play it for me.
It says hundreds of fraudulent driver's licenses were distributed right here in Bay County. News Channel 7's Austin Maida has been following the story and joins us with the latest. Austin.
Barry, 8 people have been arrested after a joint investigation by the Bay County Sheriff's Office and Homeland Security Investigations. They say illegal immigrants were paying to obtain those driver's licenses illegally.
About a month ago, we began investigating information that individuals within the Bay County tax collector's offices were issuing fraudulent driver's licenses to aliens.
2 employees were allegedly issuing the licenses to people without the required testing. Some of those, they say, are illegal immigrants.
Analysis of financial records confirmed that the employees were receiving large sums of currency from numerous sources.
Sheriff Tommy Ford says 2 employees of the tax collector's office, 37-year-old Bancel Velasco and 30-year-old Demetrius Smith II, were arrested Wednesday for their role in the scheme to provide licenses to individuals who never took required driving tests.
These weren't minor shortcuts. These were intentional acts of corruption where individuals paid bribes in exchange for skipping critical safety evaluations.
Officials say 5 more Panama City residents acted as brokers, funneling people from as far away as Miami to Bay County to get these licenses. 2 of them, owner and employee of a local company called Cuba Max. Another, a man with warrants for 4 counts of human trafficking in Texas. 3 others were arrested, including one not identified as a broker, but one of the estimated hundreds of people who fraudulently obtained licenses through this scheme. Bay County tax collector Chuck Perdue says the findings were unexpected.
I am angry
And I'm shocked to learn that these individuals, now 2 former employees, engaged in fraudulent activity that violated the trust of our office and our community.
The investigation began May 20th when it was noticed that numbers at the tax collector's office were strange.
An employee on average during the month will do 20 to 25 road exams. I had one employee, Mr. Smith, who did 295 exams 1 month.
Perdue says his office is taking action to keep this from happening again.
We have a lot of opportunities for improvement, and I look forward to working with our state partners and our law enforcement agencies to put those processes in place.
Authorities also seized $120,000 from the homes of Velasco and Smith. They say this is an ongoing investigation and more arrests are expected. Barry?
All right, thank you, Austin. To see the full list of charges.
So there you go. And all it takes to uncover all of this corruption is competence. That's all that it takes, is to actually have a solid amount of competence and actually look. When he was talking about it, we said, you know what, driver's tests, we've all had to do them where you get you get whether it's written or whether you have to actually do the physical driving test. On average, one of his employees would do like 20 to 25 a month. And one of the corrupt employees did 295 in a month. I mean, that should ring alarm bells. Now, again, this makes me think of Act Blue. Because how is Act Blue, Pam Bondi, how are they not under federal indictment already? Because the reason why Act Blue is not under federal indictment is because of the political consequences of putting them under indictment. What are the political consequences? The Democrats are going to come after you, call you racist, xenophobic, and everything else and try to smear you. So Republicans will run from exposing Democrats because of the political consequences of doing so. Act Blue, I mean, again, a measure of competence, and this is all credit to James O'Keefe and OMG. You go and you look at Act Blue's records, they will have, and these everything that I'm saying right now is not a exaggeration. It's actually a mitigation of the truth. I'm actually lowering the truth, lowering the actual statistical data of the truth. They will show you in Act Blue's data. You will have, Tom Wilson in Boston, Massachusetts, gave 5,000 contributions of $500 over a 3-year period. That is all over Act Blue, and nobody's doing a freaking thing about it. Each one of those claims is election fraud, is mail fraud, and numerous other types of fraud. Each infraction has 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 fraud charges attached to it, and nobody's doing anything because it's not politically expedient in the eyes of Pam Bondi to do so. You should be all over. Where's Cash Patel and Dan Bongino on Act Blue? They don't want to do it because then it'll appear that you're attacking your political opponent. So what? It is open game. Have we not been attacked through Donald Trump, through Navarro, through Bannon, all arrested? James O'Keefe himself, his headquarters raided. Giuliani raided. Mar-a-Lago raided. General Flynn arrested. Roger Stone raided and arrested. I mean, again, what's the point of holding back? All it takes is a little competence because Democrats are not smart. They're not smart human beings. They do not cover their trail very well at all. They're just very fervent. They are full of zeal, but they are not full of intelligence at all because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. They certainly don't have the fear of the Lord, so they don't even have the beginning of wisdom. Understand that. So why is nobody looking into this? It takes a little measure of competence to notice that, you know what? My normal driver's license examiner, driver test guy, whatever his title is, my normal, DL guy, he does, 20 to 25 driver tests per month. Well, now he was doing 295. We're going to look into that. Why is nobody doing this at the federal level? Because it is all that. Act Blue is a billions of times worse than that little county there, Bay County, Florida. Let's go to the next one. Libs a TikTok tweet. New ICE agents now face, because of the Democrats, this is what it means to be a Democrat in 2025, doxing ICE agents, threatening ICE agents, passing a law, attempting to pass a law in the state of California under Senator Scott apropos named Wiener, Scott Wiener, trying to pass a bill in California to make it illegal for ICE agents. How do you as a state make it illegal for a federal agent not to wear a mask? How do you as a state government make it illegal for a federal agent to wear a mask? That's what they're trying to do in the state of California. Tom, you're like, Tom, How do you even talk about this stuff? Because it's absolutely nonsensical. I don't know. You just have to kind of spit it out and let it sit there, because it makes absolutely no sense that a state senator, Scott Wiener, who lowered the sodomy penalties against those who rape 14-year-olds. Remember that? I talked about that last night. He gets Scott Wiener, apropos name Wiener, he gets up, a fervently gay man. He gets up every day and says, you know, what's my motivation to get up out of this bed? You know what? I want to lower the criminal penalties for those that sodomize 14-year-olds. He wants to lower the penalties for a 48-year-old man sodomizing a 14-year-old girl. He wants to lower the penalties for those that purposely infect others with AIDS. That's a fact. You can look all that up. Just Google it right now. It's Google. It's on Google. It's certainly not, in some sort of bastion of right-wing conspiracy website or database. You can find all of Scott Wiener's bills. Here's one of them here. So wonder why it is when you're trying to demask ICE agents, but you want to mask protesters, mask rioters, but demask law enforcement. That's what it means to be a Democrat in 2025. 500% increase in assaults, according to Breitbart. This is what happens when governors, mayors, Congress members, and senators refer to ICE as Nazis, like Tim Walz, and Gestapo, and promise to dox them. The Democratic Party is the party of violence. Absolutely right. Go next for me. Bill Malugin video trying to fly through the border here. Exclusive. We were with ICE and HSI Los Angeles as they arrested a Salvadorian alien. Play for me.
That's our car. All right. Only Fox News was with ICE and HSI officers in Los Angeles as they moved in to take down a high-priority aggravated felon. His name is Alexander Palacios Guevara. DHS says he's a Salvadoran illegal alien and Sureños gang member with prior convictions for murder and attempted murder.
I have an immigration lawyer.
Guevara has had a deportation order since February 2024 and had been living freely in Los Angeles County, a sanctuary jurisdiction. Now that this convicted murderer is in federal custody, he's coming here to this ICE facility where he's going to be booked. They're going to take his fingerprints, take his biometrics. He'll be placed in a cell. But as we were reporting on what would happen next with Guevara, he interrupted us to repeatedly say he shouldn't be deported because he has a special form of relief called CAT. ICE says you have a deportation order since February 2024, sir.
No, I just got CAT on December the 18th. Of last year by the BIA. You can call my lawyer.
It turns out his claim is true. ICE wasn't aware at the time of his arrest, but in the final days of the Biden administration on December 18th, the BIA, or Board of Immigration Appeals, under the Biden Department of Justice, granted Guevara a relief known as DCAT, meaning deferred removal under the Convention Against Torture. It means Guevara can't be deported to El Salvador because he fears being killed or tortured. And the Trump administration is outraged about it. An ICE spokesperson tells Fox, quote, "This criminal alien should never have been roaming the streets of Los Angeles. Not only is he a member of the ruthless Sureños gang, but he also has multiple convictions for murder, assault, and rape or sexual abuse of a minor. A highly unusual Biden-era legal decision from December allowed this dangerous criminal to live in American communities." Are you a convicted murderer, sir?
I am free.
Are you a convicted murderer?
Typical Democrat. Are you a convicted murderer? The answer to that, of course, is absolutely yes, I am. And his answer is, I am free. Are you a convicted murderer? It's a very simple question. Aaron, are you a convicted murderer?
Nope.
Oh, there you go. See how easy that is? Are you a convicted murderer? I am free. And by the way, I don't know exactly what will happen with the dispensation of this case. We will find out. But here he is, a criminal alien who should never have been roaming the streets of the United States. Not only is he a member of the ruthless Sureños gang, but he also has multiple convictions for murder, assault, and rape or sexual abuse of a minor. Mayorkas lets him out. I mean, I know everybody's heard this a million times, and it's just another example, but this is what it means to be a Democrat. I can't imagine any Democrat being able to look themselves in the eye, be able to look themselves in the mirror and say, I'm proud of you. Because, I mean, you are in favor of, they just protested. They just rioted. They just did billions of dollars worth of damage to the city of Los Angeles to keep this guy in the country. I mean, imagine that. I'm using the Scott Wiener example. His motivation in life, to lower the criminal penalties for those that rape 14-year-olds. So your motivation in life, what gets you going in the day, your juice, your meaning, your cause, is to make sure that men like this are able to stay in the country, who are, first of all, given a final order of deportation. Already, that final order of deportation was February of 2024. So here we are a year and a half later, and he's still in the country because he's in a Democratic Party city. And no Democrat gives a crap about it unless it's their daughter that gets raped by him. And then suddenly opinions change. If you actually watched an abortion, you'd never be pro-choice. If you actually sat there and watched that which you approve of and vote for, you will no longer approve or vote for that if you actually watch it. Same thing here. Because, and it's everyone, jump into war. Let's go right there. Let's go bomb Iran. Oh, really? Why are you not volunteering to do it? It's really easy to say, if the bombs start landing in the United States, you'll change your mind. Quickly change your mind. But here you just follow the lineage of what happened with this man. He gets the CAT exception order, which basically is an order, a stay of his final deportation order. This is right out of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Remember, he had a final deportation order. They put a stay on that order to prevent him from being killed by a rival gang inside of El Salvador, which always makes it funny because then you have Democrats argue that he was never an MS-13 member. Then how can he have a rival gang if he's not a gang member? If he actually has a stay put on his deportation order so that a rival gang, the 18th Street Gang or something like that is what it was called in El Salvador, if you have a stay on his deportation order because a rival gang is going to kill him, okay, how can you not be part of a gang and have a rival gang? But yet as a Democrat, you're saying, we don't agree that he's a gang member. You have to be absolutely blind to the truth. You absolutely have to turn your face to the wall and just ignore all reality to be a Democrat. And so Mayorkas, Merrick Garland, Joe Biden, give him this CAT exception because he might be tortured in El Salvador. So now what they're going to have to do, he still has, it's exact same thing as Abrego Garcia. Just have to find a different country that'll take him. Or just simply go to the court proceeding, get it overturned, and then send him to CCOT where he belongs as a Serranos gang member. By the way, look at multiple convictions for murder.
Yeah.
Multiple convictions for murder, assault, how many rapes, how many murders, how many sexual abuses of a child. And as a Democrat, your cause celeb, your motivation in life is to keep this guy in the country. Imagine being a person like that. All right, let's go to the next one. Rapid Response 47 video, Fort Worth, Texas. Joint operation by federal and local agencies leads to the arrest of 76 individuals. Play it for me.
Law enforcement agencies say neighborhoods across Fort Worth are a whole lot safer tonight after an aggressive operation to combat violent crime. Caroline Vandergriff looks at the impact.
Our intention to reduce violent crime in Fort Worth, Texas. And we did it together.
Areas of Fort Worth with high crime rates were targeted in a 2-month initiative called Operation Showdown. 76 people were arrested on firearm and drug crimes.
Many of the individuals arrested in this operation are convicted violent felons. Others are in our country illegally and have suspected ties to the Venezuelan transnational criminal organization Tren de Aragua, also known as TDA.
287 guns were confiscated.
One firearm seized during the operation was found to have been utilized in a shooting just 3 hours before it was seized. 3 firearms were connected to homicides.
More than 22 kilos of cocaine, meth, heroin, and fentanyl are now off the streets as well.
Some of you might be asking, why am I showing you all this? Because of because this is what's actually happening right now. Everybody's focused completely and totally on Israel. We're in a holding pattern right now. Nothing much happened. This is what's still happening in the United States. It's all on purpose. You have Trump effectuating. If it wasn't for the courts, it'd be 10,000 a day would be moved out of the country. But the courts are making it very small. So he's maybe able to get out 2,000 to 3,000 a day, which puts him on a pace to get out about 3 million people by the time he leaves office, 3 million illegals. And of course, you have the left coming out and saying that's like Hitler. Can anybody go back in history and show me where Hitler was removing illegals out of his country? I mean, can anybody show me that? Because they say it's like this is like the modern day Gestapo is what Tim Walz said. Well, how is that exactly? If you're going to do that, then let's break it down. Tell me how this parallels with the Third Reich. I mean, I'm just curious because when did Adolf Hitler do a grand roundup of illegal aliens who had basically forced their way into the country? When did Hitler go and round up millions of illegals that were let in by his predecessor? I'm just curious because that never happened. Hitler rounded up people according to ethnicity, not according to being legal or illegal. And everybody that I rounded up were citizens of the state, the country of Germany. And focused, of course, on Jews. All right, let's go to the next one. Libs a TikTok tweet. This is what we need to be very careful of because we don't want to turn into this. The ringleaders, which goes into my whole Muslim thing, my Muslim expose, which is a dandy, by the way. Libs a TikTok tweet. The ringleaders of a grooming gang in the UK will not be deported. Sounds just like the Biden administration. Sounds like, well, they got Democrats running the show. They got Keir Starmer running the show there, who prevented CPS from, and they're not really the prosecutorial force inside of the UK, but he prevented the prosecutions of numerous, I'm talking about hundreds, maybe thousands of child sex predators inside of the UK because he was running their child protective services at the time and just turned a blind eye. I'm talking about, listen, folks, I'm telling you, and again, I always tell you this whenever Brent's here on Fridays. It's great to have another cop in here because it really makes you understand things. I mean, you don't have to be a cop to understand it, obviously, but it enhances it if you were one. Because if you were a cop and someone came up to you and said, my 7-year-old was raped by a Muslim, and you just said, are you, okay, thanks for telling me, you do nothing about it. You'd be fired. You'd lose your job. You'd be sued into oblivion in the United States. I mean, imagine somebody comes up and reports a crime to you and you ignore it. That's what Keir Starmer did for decades as he ran CPS. Ignore it. People were coming up. My 12-year-old daughter was gang raped by a group of Pakistanis. Oh, I can't really do anything about that because if I do, I'm going to be called Islamophobic. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened for decades inside of the UK. That's what Tommy Robinson's all about. You can go back and you can look at Tommy Robinson videos when he was looked like he's 19 years old. And and immediately, what does he get called? Islamophobic. How is it Islamophobic to say, if you go and you say, a white man raped me, does that make you a racist? No, you're just telling the person what do cops always ask? What did he look like? You go up and say it was my daughter was gang raped by a pack of Pakistanis, by a group of Pakistani men. How is that Islamophobic? That's just a simple fact. But it's deflected because people are afraid of the political consequences of putting down people's ethnicity or their or their religion. The ringleaders of a grooming gang in the UK were not deported because Pakistan is refusing to take them back. They led a gang who raped and sexually assaulted, Aaron, just 47 girls.
That's it?
Some as young as 12.
Oh.
They're both still living in the UK, and one is working as a delivery driver to your daughter's house.
Good.
Your daughter, he might be your daughter's Uber driver. He might be the one. What are the food delivery services that bring food here? What, DoorDash? He might be your DoorDash driver to your house. And because Keir Starmer doesn't want to be called Islamophobic, just like a typical globalist leftist bourgeois elitist, i.e. Democrat, just like them, he doesn't want to be called Islamophobic. So he's just going to turn a blind eye to people who are grooming and raping children. Just going to turn a blind eye to it. Imagine your political reputation, your measure of political correctness, your political correctness score being more important than a girl who was gang raped by Pakistanis. That's who these people are. And again, that's why I tell you, be very careful about whose opinions you listen to or whose advice you take more than anything. Who you have a certain opinion about how you got who was it besides yourself? If it was just you, then it's you. That's great. Do your own research, as we were told not to do for 4 years of 15 days to flatten the curve. But anyway, be very careful about who it was that formed your opinion. we're going into war. It is, go kick butt in Israel. We're going to drop the bunker busters. They're weeks away. Who told you that? Who told you they were weeks away? Who told you that Trump is now receiving reliable intel that our bunker busters really aren't that big of a bunker buster, that they may not be as effective as people think they are? There's two different camps on that. So who is it that's formed our opinions? You need to be real careful about that. Real careful. All right, let's go to the next one. This was one of the best. I have to play it because literally it is one of the best tirades I've ever heard. It's a little old. It's about 10 days old. Some of you have probably seen it, but I can't risk that you don't see it. Because this is Elise Stefanik ripping the governor of the state of New York, Kathy Hochul, about how she shields illegals. Francois Leclerc video. Play it for me.
This is Ms. Stefanik from New York.
Thank you. Governor Hochul, on your first day in office, you signed Executive Order 1. Is that correct?
I believe it is.
And you extended this executive order not once, not twice, but 3 times, most recently January 16th this year. Is that correct?
If that's what your facts show, I signed countless executive orders.
I would assume you'd know it's Executive Order 1. And this is a continuation of your predecessor's sanctuary state policies, correct? Is included in that.
I want to be sure we are defining sanctuary state properly.
I'll define it for you. It is the policy of the state that state officers or employees shall not disclose information to federal immigration authorities for the purpose of federal civil immigration enforcement. It goes on to say law enforcement officers may not use resources, equipment, or personnel for the purpose of detecting and apprehending any individual suspected or wanted for violating a civil immigration office. Law enforcement officers have no authority in the state of New York to take any policy action solely because the person is an undocumented alien. That's a quote in your executive orders that you extended. Now, do you know who Sakir Akan is?
I want to get back to the first part.
No, I'm asking a question. Do you know who Sakir Akan is?
I want to make sure you understand that this simply says that we will cooperate with ICE.
No, it does not say that. I read what it says, and let me talk to you about the results. Do you know who Sakir Akan is? You should, as the governor of New York State. Do you know?
Refresh my recollection.
He was an illegal migrant in New York. And do you know what crime he committed in addition to being here illegally?
No, I do not.
You do not. This was widely reported. He found a 15-year-old girl, threatened her with a metal pole, told her to get into the back seat of his car. He took her clothes off, and he violently raped her in Albany, New York. Do you know who Sebastian Zapita Khalil is?
I'm sure you'll tell me there's many cases, whether they're...
These are high-profile cases. Yes. New Yorkers know about them, and you don't. So let's talk about Sebastian Zapita Khalil. Do you know who that is?
I don't have the specific details at my disposal, no.
Well, this is an illegal migrant in New York because of your sanctuary state policies. Do you know what crime he committed?
I'm not familiar at this moment.
I bet you're going to be familiar when I remind you. He found a sleeping woman on the subway, lit her on fire, and burned her alive. This is in Kathy Hochul's New York. And as I'm sure you are aware, and I'll remind you, that ICE issued an order to detain this violent criminal, but that was rejected by New York officials due to sanctuary state laws. Now, do you know who Raymond Rojas Basilio is?
I just want to say this. These crimes are horrific.
Because of your sanctuary state policies.
In all of these cases, we would work with ICE to remove them.
You did not in this case. They are walking on the streets because of your policies and your executive order that you signed 3 times. Now, Raymond Rojas Basilio, do you know who that is?
I'm telling you this. I will explain to you the policies of New York. We cooperate with. I know you're just trying to.
You do not. Specifically, ICE was told not to detain this individual, and he burned a woman alive on the New York subways in Kathy Hochul's New York. So I will keep on going. What about Raymond Rojas Basilio? Do you know who that is?
I'm going to tell you our overall policy, which will address all this.
I'll tell you who that is. He is an illegal who molested an 11-year-old in our state because, again, of your sanctuary state policies. This illegal was shielded from federal immigration enforcement and able to commit this heinous crime. And what about Wilson Castillo-Diaz? Do you know who that is?
I'm telling you this. We do cooperate fully with ICE in criminal prosecution. Our sanctuary
You're not advocating for these victims.
Only deal
this
with
is a 5-year-old who was raped on Long Island in Nassau County. You are not advocating on behalf of these victims. You are shielding illegals. Even in your opening statement, you prioritize putting illegals first.
That is not
rapes
true.
of young girls, beatings of NYPD cops by illegals who are here under Kathy Hochul's failed policies, burning New Yorkers alive. This is Kathy Hochul's New York. It's one of the many reasons why you're hemorrhaging support from hardworking New York
These are
families.
horrific crimes, and they're heartbreaking.
They're horrific crimes that are committed on your watch. You signed this executive order on your first day in office. You signed it again and again this January. We deserve a governor who stands up for law-abiding New Yorkers, doesn't put illegals first, but actually puts New Yorkers first. I appreciate
Rather than going after the viral moment, I suggest you look at the facts.
I'm standing up for New Yorkers. No. Rather than addressing the illegals in New York, you are prioritizing your far-left sanctuary state policies, which you put in place with executive orders. Instead of advocating for victims, a 5-year-old who was raped,
with ICE.
you did not. They were released because of sanctuary state policies in New York State. No amount of words is going to clean up your failed record and these horrific crimes committed in sanctuary state that you created. And with that, I yield back.
Your representation of the facts absolutely false.
Her misrepresentation of the facts. She said we cooperated in all those cases. She didn't even know what the cases were. How can think about what she just said under oath in a hearing before Congress? Kathy Hochul, the governor of the state of New York, said in all of those cases we cooperated with ICE. Aaron, how could she have cooperated with ICE when how could she say that the state cooperated with ICE when she didn't even know what the offense was, who the offender was? She didn't even know any of these cases, but yet she assuredly says with great confidence that we cooperated with ICE.
Right.
I mean, typical. And she says that everything Elise Stefanik said, she quote, that is not true, and you should look at the facts. She didn't know. So Kathy Hochul, who knew none of the facts, tells Elise Stefanik to look at the facts. Again, look at the list here. Roman Rojas Fasalio molested an 11-year-old and shielded from ICE, enabled him to do so. Sakir Khan, she didn't know. Again, first one, Raymond Facilio, she had no idea what it was, no idea what his offense was, no idea about whether or not, what their level of cooperation with ICE was, but yet says that they cooperated with ICE. I mean, you're like, Tom, that what she's doing is making absolutely no sense. What she's stating is making no sense. I know. I don't even know how to talk about it. How do you sit there and go, that is not true? I suggest you look at the facts, and this is all of what she said to Elise Stefanik, and we cooperated with ICE in all of these cases, and she didn't know one data point of any of these cases. I mean, how do you sit there as a human being and do that? If it's me and I'm her, I tuck my tail between my legs and say, I'm a failure. Seriously, I would. I would absolutely just definitively say, you know what? I didn't know who Shakir Khan was. She had no idea who he was, didn't know who he was, didn't know what crime that he committed, had absolutely no idea. He's a child rapist. Then you have Sebastian Khalil. That was not just New York news. That wasn't just United States news. It was international news. She has no idea who Sebastian Khalil was. It's on international news. It was put out in viral videos. It's a horrible thing. I mean, I don't want you to watch it. It's not worth just, hurting your soul to watch it. But this is the guy who burned a woman alive on the subway. Everybody knows who he is. This is the governor of New York. This is the level of incompetence. Again, and I don't mean to be redundant. I do, because I am trying to propagandize you in the right way. Understand who it is that's giving you information. That's really the way. I couldn't frame it the way that I really wanted to until just now. Who is it that's a purveyor of information in your life? Who's giving you information? Because if it's someone like Kathy Hochul, it can be people on the right too. Somebody like Kathy Hochul, who definitively states that what Elise Stefanik said was not true, suggests she looked at the facts, and that ICE cooperated in all these cases. That's what she said. That's what she said. Not one thing Kathy Hochul said or espouses is true. Not one thing. As she said, while she's claiming that not one thing Elise Stefanik said was true, not one thing that Kathy Hochul said was true. That's the kind of people that they are. That's why you don't just rush into war when they tell you to. That's why you don't just put a mask on because they're the experts. Okay, you're an expert. You're Anthony Fauci, and you're a quote unquote an epidemiologist or a virologist, or like Robert W. Malone, a vaccinologist, whatever it is. You don't just follow people because of their expertise. You need to look at their prior record. What disease has Anthony Fauci ever cured? What disease has he even had a significant level of mitigation against? Ever? None. Not once. You don't take people like that's advice. Wilson Diaz raped a five-year-old. Sebastian Khalil, the one who burnt the woman alive on the subway, remember, she didn't know who he was or what crime he committed. Had no idea. He was released after New York City, because New York City is a sanctuary city under a sanctuary state run by Kathy Hochul, refused to honor an ICE detainer. So he gets out. ICE sends in a detainer. Hold this guy because we wanted to come, give him his stupid little hearing, and then deport his rear end. What does the state of New York do? Ignore the ICE detainer and let him back out on the streets. He lights a woman on fire, killing her on the subway. I mean, truly unbelievable. And you just have to, you really, all of us have to pay very close attention to who it is that's feeding us our information. Really. In these days right now, you need to be really careful about it. Really. All right, that's it. That's good. 10:15. Rumble Rants tonight. Tony Nuthead, $20. Order in the court, $10. Naz Yeager, $5. Thank you guys so much for that. Don't forget church this Sunday again. Trump is great. Love Trump. Want Trump again to run in 2028, but he's not Jesus. You've got to have a Lord and you've got to have a Savior. You want a church that's just like this podcast? It's right there. Foundation Church. Join us no matter where you're at. Back in the old days, I would have told you got to find a local church. I don't say it anymore because most local churches are limp-wristed, bent over, and lukewarm. So just go to a church that actually preaches the gospel of Jesus Christ and makes the appropriate stance. Never closed, never will, never masked, never vaccinated, never pimped and whored, any of those things. So join us this Sunday at Foundation Church, online or in person. In person's right here. Online, just type in, Aaron, I don't know if we have an online address you throw up on the screen, but online, join us. Like I said, we broke the record last week. Let's break it again. We're shooting for 2,000 people, trying to get 2,000 people watching us live on Sunday morning. You will like it. You'll see Aaron will take the stage about 11:15. About 10:15, I'll take stage about 11. So join us at Foundation Church this Sunday, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. All right, love you guys. If I don't see you on Sunday, see you on Monday at 9 o'clock as always. Love you all. God bless you.
Colossians 2:8. See to it that no one takes you captive through hollow and deceptive philosophy, which depends on human tradition and the elemental spiritual forces of this world rather than on Christ. Listen, if you're not captive, what is wrong will not appear to be right to you, and what is right will not appear to be wrong to you. But if you're captive, one or both could happen. Most of us are operating in both to some degree, and that includes me.
Have you ever had a question you were too afraid to ask? Or a thought you knew everyone was thinking but no one dared to say out loud? Welcome to the Hope Hotline, where nothing's off limits and we say what others won't. Real talk, raw truth, your questions finally answered.
Thanks for watching the Tom Laipply podcast. We appreciate your support. As a special thank you, when you donate $25 or more, you will get a free TLP koozie. Enjoy your favorite cold drink while tuning in to our latest takes on current events. Your support keeps us going. Donate now to claim yours.
Hey, Trump. Where you going with that gun in your hand? Hey, Trump. Where you going with that gun in your hand?
No, it's not you. No, too goofy, too skinny. Trump's big. Trump ain't even in here. Too little, too straight-faced. Ron gotta be more fun than that. He's not that tall. No, I can see that. No, you're too short, too short. You got nobody. You got nobody.
He will be here soon.
You got nobody.
Nice try. Nice try. You said I am too tall. Too tall. We're not even friends anymore. That's crazy. That's crazy.
When our children tell us who they are, it is our job as grown-ups to listen and to believe them.
No, I'm afraid it don't work that way. You can't let a young'un decide for himself. He'll grab at the first flashy thing with shiny ribbons on it. Then when he finds out there's a hook in it, it's too late. The wrong ideas come packaged with so much glitter, it's hard to convince them that other things might be better in the long run. And all a parent can do is say, wait, trust me, and try to keep temptation away.
Kamala Harris, light years ahead of Donald Trump as it relates to qualifications, as it relates to her overall resume, and as it relates to the fact that she was a lot younger. Everybody said that they wanted to get rid of Joe Biden because he was too old. Then you had a younger, qualified, non-felon candidate, and somehow the people still chose the old white man. So, like, for me, I don't think it was ever about that. Because when you think about it...
So she was more qualified even though he already has done the job and did a great job while he did the job.
Great point. I was going to say that.
Before COVID-19 pandemic, African-American unemployment reached a historic low of 5.4% in August 2019.
Down.
Jackson still has him in triangle choke area there.
No, it's dangerous. He's got to get out.
Dan, I told you, he'd pick him up and slam him to the ground.
He's out. He's out. He knocked him out. Unbelievable.
Electrifying turn of events. We were just speculating, and it came true. Quentin Rampage Jackson with a trademark slam knocks out Ricardo Arona at 7 minutes and 32 seconds of round number 1.
Look at this now. Watch how high he picks him up. It's unbelievable. Look how high. All the way. Oh, he knocks him out. It's
and remember we said
unreal.
Arona was busy going for the triangle choke, but against a guy like Jackson that also sets him up for something like this. A high angle power bomb like slam, and it's lights out for Ricardo Arona at critical countdown.
Would you rather date a liberal or an illegal immigrant?
An illegal immigrant.
Why?
Because at least I know that they're women.
How are U.S. soldiers different from European soldiers? In Afghanistan, there was a common French saying, "You better pray that you have an American in your unit." A French soldier wrote about his extraordinary experience with American soldiers in Afghanistan. If a unit was in trouble, you prayed that an American unit took up the radio call for help. When American forces picked up the call, their reply was, "Sit tight, we are coming to get you." There wasn't any haggling or logistic issues. The Americans were fully committed to your rescue. They came regardless of what the situation was. In fact, they wouldn't ask about specifics until they got close to your position, and often knew the threats in the area before asking what problems you were having.